I want to do something a little bit different with this video. It is going to be a wrap-up of my November reads, but because I talked quite a bit about the 2 out of the 4 books that I read in the month of November already in separate videos, this one is going to be kind of a Colorado style vlog, reading vlog, where I'm going to be talking about mostly 2 out of the 4 books. So anyway, what did I read in November? Let's set it up properly. 4 books. Actually, I read 3 and I listened to 1. The one I listened to was Phillip Chase's The Way of Edan, which is a fantasy book. I used to read fantasy. I've read less fantasy recently, so I wanted to get back into it. This was a classic fantasy. I'm going to tell you all about it. And I didn't read it. I listened to it on audio, which turned out to be an amazing experience. The reading of the story by Alan Walker was fantastic. The voices he's able, the consistency also of the tone, fantastic. So I really enjoyed the reading experience, and I'll tell you all about it in a minute. Next book that I'm going to talk about in this vlog is going to be Dawn by Octavia Butler. What a great reading experience that was. And I read it thanks to Joanna from Joanna Reads and Whitney from Secret Sauce of Storycraft on their recommendation. I was going to read it anyway. It's Butler. I wanted to get into her works, but I pushed it to the forefront because of their recommendation. So those are the 2 books we're going to do the vlog on. The other 2 books I read, I talked so much about, you don't need to hear much more from me. One is, of course, the last book in the Dark Tower. I'll talk a little bit about it in the vlog. Fabulous series. The other book was Use of Weapons by Ian M. Banks. And that one, I don't want to talk much about because there's a separate video, a long video. Me with Sam from Sam Not So Wise and Whitney from Secret Sauce. We did a video together talking about that book. It also was a video that is hopefully going to start a new series for me where I'm talking science fiction with other booktubers, other guests. And it was a lot of fun. I hope you check out that video. I'm going to link it down below, of course. So now, without further ado, we're in Colorado. The sun is shining, hitting my face. Vitamin D. Let's watch reading vlog. Welcome to my Colorado vlog. Oh, I just flew to Colorado today, flew to Denver from JFK. Nice flight, 3.5 hours. And I hoped that I would finish the Dark Tower on the flight. I fell asleep, I think, for a little bit. So I finished it on the bus. Oh my God, what a journey with the Dark Tower. Incredible. I have to say that at the end, I was choked up. I had tears in my eyes. I loved it. Really amazing. The bus ride was a little rough, reading the last few pages. What a journey. What a journey for the quartet. What a journey for me. They fought their way through different worlds to the tower. No spoilers, of course, if you haven't read The Dark Tower. It's such a long, deep series with so many twists, with so many different ideas, themes throughout. So many chances that Stephen King took. I think this might be my favorite series of all time. I'll have to think about that. It's so fresh as I'm just finishing the story now. But yeah, I'm in Colorado, so I'm gonna do a Colorado vlog. If you missed my New York vlog, it'll be down below for sure. I really like that one. I'm proud of that one. I'm hoping that maybe if you're watching this one, if you like it, you'll check out the New York vlog as well. But anyway, I'm just getting home right now. I'm gonna read Dawn by Octavia Butler here in Colorado. So this is going to be a Dawn, and I'm listening to Phillip Chase's The Way of Edan. I decided that maybe reading a little bit more fantasy makes sense, just to get a little bit more of an idea of what the genre has to offer. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm listening to that. Alan's narration is really mind-blowing. So well done.
Here, boy. Kip, come here, boy. He whistled. Something stirred behind the stone wall. A sound like raw meat tearing and then a grisly pop.
Incredible. I mean, the voices he is able to sink into, the personalities that he evokes, is really making it for a fantastic listening experience. I'm going to be So it's gonna be a Way of Edan and Octavia E. Butler's Dawn, proper science fiction aliens. It's gonna be so much fun. So I hope you enjoy this Colorado vlog. I'm gonna go home, say hi to my dogs. Oh, you gotta see my dogs when I get in. They're gonna go probably wild, especially Winnie. So let's go inside, say hi to the dogs. Hey baby, hello, hello, hello babies. Hello Winnie. Hey Sydney, you missed me? I missed you too. Yeah. Where's Kona? Where's Kona? She's outside? She doesn't want to say hello. Kona doesn't care. If I had food, she would come, right? Oh, it's good to be home. Supposed to be $3 off on the book, but they put a wrong sticker that says only $3. When I asked if this indeed is just $3, they said no, it's actually $3 off, but we will honor it. So instead of 30, I got it for 3. Pretty cool. Thanks, Barnes and Nobles. All right, it's time for an update as I'm about 15% into both books I'm reading. And I have to say, I'm enjoying both stories immensely. So first off, Dawn by Octavia E. Butler, amazing. From the beginning, I connected with the author's voice. The storytelling, I think, works really well for me. There's an intrigue, there's mystery that is slowly being unfolded in front of us, very slowly, but in a very meticulous and interesting way. There is already a conflict that is being presented to us. The stakes are high, and this isn't any spoiler because it's basically from the back of the book. The aliens that we meet essentially right at the beginning of our journey with this book are really fabulous. They seem very alien. They seem strange. They're different from us in so many respects. So I'm really enjoying Octavia E. Butler's Dawn. The beginning of it has been amazing. I wonder in which direction this book is going to go. I'm excited that I don't know a whole lot about it. That's really fantastic. To give you a quick overview here, maybe of the beginning of the book, of the setup. So we have our main protagonist. Her name is Lilith, and she wakes up on board a ship from like a deep sleep, and she has memories of Earth going through some nuclear disaster, something of that sort. And then she discovers that she is actually on a ship held by these aliens, and I think a lot of the story revolves around whether these aliens are our saviors or are these aliens captors. Are they good? Are they bad? Great beginning to this story. I'm hoping it continues in the same vein. I hope it gets even better, but so far it's a 4.5 star read. Fantastic beginning. Well done. Now when it comes to The Way of Edan, I'm listening to that. Actually, I'm on a walk right now with Winnie. Winnie, come baby, come say hi. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. So Winnie is a rescue. She's a rescue. She's a mix of all kinds of breeds, and we actually have 3 dogs, but Winnie has to be walked alone because she goes a little crazy when there are other dogs. She just doesn't walk nicely. She tends to pull, then she shows off a little too much. She's very alert all the time. But anyway, I'm walking with Winnie and I'm listening to the audiobook of The Way of Edan. And it's a great experience. Well, first of all, even before I talk about the book, the audiobook is fantastic. I've tried a couple audiobooks in the past and I just could not get into them. But this one reads very well. I like the story. I'm interested. It feels to me like a classic fantasy. It doesn't seem to be doing anything new necessarily. It seems like the kind of book that I've already read, but there's something really cool about that too. Since I don't read a whole lot of fantasy, this is a fabulous story. Well done. All the tropes of fantasy seem to be there. And it's a really well done story, but particularly the reading of this story is fantastic as well. It makes it very engaging. One thing I would say about it is it seems like you can tell right away by the voice he's using, and he's really good at changing his voice. But you can tell right away when the character is really good, when the character is really bad, you know, right away, because the character sounds like this. But it's still fun. I don't know, it's fun. I think it works very well for this book, for this story. I think it's well done. And yeah, I'm really impressed with both the writing, but also with Alan and his vocal abilities. Very smooth, very polished, very professional. If you get a chance to if you want to read the book, I think looking at the audiobook is a fabulous option. So yeah, I recommend it strongly. As far as this story, I'm engaged. A lot of characters, a ton of world building, lots of different fractions. I don't always love it, but in this book, I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to learn the names. I'm trying to figure out what is going on in the world. I'm connected with a couple of characters already. The book starts off with a bang too. Actually, two back-to-back bangs. So it's a fast pace in the beginning, as there is a murder, there is sacrifice, a gruesome murder. We meet our protagonist. His name is Dave Raven. What a great name also. Yeah, the beginning is really good. We're setting up conflict, quest, mystery, magic we're finding out about. Just a fantastic beginning. Then it slows down a little bit. I think it slowed down a little bit right now for me, but with good reason. So yeah, I'm enjoying The Way of Edan quite a bit. I haven't read fantasy since book 2 in the Stormlight archive. Yeah, this is good. This is a lot of fun. I'm impressed. So yeah, I'm gonna continue my walk with Winnie, and then get back to the reading / listening, and I'll check in with you soon. Have a good day in school, Anya.
I will.
Open the door. Smile. 2. Comfy?
I voluntarily left the Apple ecosphere.
75 years of Warren Miller ski movies. No pain, no Jane.
What's up, boys? All right, I gotta move.
I'm doing a video. Say something, Greg. Rob, Carl, famous,
This is supposed
the
to
one
be
and only supreme being.
Oh, Supreme
in
Being.
the house.
Oh, wait 1 second. Supreme Being.
Oh, oh, oh. I'm about halfway through both books. So this is a perfect time for a quick check-in. Let's look at Dawn first. What a great book. I'm loving this. I'm having so much fun reading Dawn. Fabulous reading experience. Very kind of a slow burn as far as progression, but everything makes sense in this book, step by step. The writing is really strong, really good, really strong. Perfect for this type of a sci-fi story. The aliens, out of this world. No pun intended. Pun intended, I guess. Anyway, and guess what? I think I mentioned something about not liking the protagonist before. That was just me having an off day. The protagonist is awesome. She's strong. She kicks ass. She's amazing. She doesn't let the aliens push her into doing something she doesn't want to do. So yeah, she's definitely growing on me. So I'm enjoying the read. It's a good one. It's a great story. I cannot wait to see where it goes. A lot is being set up in the first half of this book. Things are starting to happen. It's a really good story. I don't want to get into too many details for fear of spoiling things for a possible video, because yeah, I'll be talking about this book. I have a feeling I'll be telling you to read it. I have a feeling. So yeah, I don't want to give away anything of essence, but I just want to say again, really strong writing, great story, fabulous aliens. They feel so different, both in their physiology, anatomy, but also in their way of thinking, viewing the world, understanding the world. Everything about the aliens is first rate, some of the best. I'd have to think about what other aliens I really like. But yeah, these aliens are really good. This is much better than Mercy of Gods, incidentally, that I read recently. I'm sure the authors of Mercy of Gods took a lot of inspiration from Dawn, but unfortunately, guys, nope, Octavia, Butler, much better. At least so far. I haven't finished the book, so maybe it's a bit too early to say, but so far, 5-star read. I'm loving my reading experience. Now let's talk about The Way of Edan, which, as you know, I've been listening to, which I don't do too often, but I'm really enjoying listening to the audiobook. Fantastic. The story is good. It's fast-paced. A lot is happening, but if I can say one thing that I don't like about it, it's the details. There's just, in my opinion, too much detail in that book. For me, people who love extensive world building will probably love it. So it's a me problem, not a book problem, but everything is described. You walk into a room and every single thing in the room will be described to you. The garments that the soldiers are wearing, every single part of the garment is described. It's a little bit too much for me. I think it slows things down. I think those things for me could be definitely cut. It's a little bit of fat that could be trimmed from this book, in my opinion, and it would be better for it. But the reading experience, or the audio reading, listening experience, is amazing. And I like the story. I'm connecting with protagonists. We're getting them introduced. There's a lot of people, a lot of characters. It's a fantasy, so come on. It's a classic fantasy. The writing the word choices are excellent. It feels a little bit like reading The Hobbit. I love The Hobbit. Probably more than I like Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings too. I mean, the whole thing, Tolkien, amazing, of course. And this feels a little bit like reading that maybe Phillip Chase did take some inspiration from Mr. Tolkien. And this book definitely has that classic feel to it, that language. It feels like a typical fantasy in some ways, but the story is really good. It's really strong. All the talk about religion is resonating with me as well. I wonder where it's gonna go. I think the characters that we're meeting are strong ones. A little bit of like black and white. I'm hoping there's more shades of gray, because I'm finding, for now anyway, that as these people are being introduced, they're good, they're bad. So we'll see. The jury is still out on how much I'm gonna enjoy The Way of Edan when it's all said and done. But so far, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I gotta go. Read. See ya. Bye.
Gotta move.
Staying at home, turn off the phone, I will listen to you. hold on to me like I'm already gone, and whisper your words like secrets written in an old moleskin, and look up above. The sunlight seems like it is gonna break in, and something ain't right. Yeah, something ain't right. Oh, something ain't right. Something ain't right. You straighten my shirt, wearing the skirt that my mother gave to you. I come up behind you, kiss on the side of your neck a few, and turn off the lights. The stars in the sky are turning so clear, and without the words, the feelings unheard can still be just as sincere. But something's not right.
So as you can see by the airplane's nose right behind me, I'm at the airport, flying to JFK, New York City. My stay in Colorado unfortunately had to be cut a little bit short, so I'm gonna finish the books in New York. I'm excited about that because when I'm in New York, the one good thing about being in New York is I have a little bit more time to read. So let's go.
Oh, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Guys, I stayed way past midnight reading Dawn. I had to finish it. Had to get done. But I was falling asleep because I took like, I think 5 milligrams of melatonin. So I was sleepy, but no, I persisted. For you, I finished Dawn. I love it. Great book. Fabulous first entry. It is a standalone, I suppose, but you really have to go on. You cannot just end with Dawn. You have to keep reading, or at least I do. I really found this story interesting. I love to read about first contact. I love to read about aliens. And this is one of the stronger entries into that subgenre of science fiction. The first contact, fantastically done. I already mentioned the aliens are great, but it's the humans here who really are presented in such a way that really makes you think. It makes you think about who we are as humans, who we want to be. It talks about genetic purity. How important is genetic purity to us as humans, as we're evolving and changing over the millennia anyway? Lots to think about here. Interdependentness between species, and these aliens were fabulous. I really connected with the aliens. There's some things, I don't want to give out any spoilers, but there are some things that make these aliens truly unique, and it's not because they're so different, even though they are. It's their philosophy. It's something deeper. It's some calmness that they have. It's the perspective that they have, the unwavering steadfastness. Fantastic, really. And our protagonist, Lilith, I hope I'm saying that right, was interesting. I didn't like her at first, then I liked her a lot. In the end, I'm somewhere in between. She's very nuanced. She's not without faults, for sure. She is in opposition, almost just for the sake of being in opposition at times. Yeah, I just found this book to be really fascinating, easy read also, just a great story. 5 stars, I recommend it. I'm going to be reading, I'm going to be continuing to read this story. There are 2 more books, I'm happy to say. Yeah, I will be reading Octavia E. Butler, fabulous author. It's really interesting also. Obviously, Afrofuturism. I wonder how much of this story for someone like Octavia Butler, and I'm gonna want to read a little bit more about it to see if any of this makes sense, is a reflection of the Black experience. And there is also that to think about, not just kind of humans versus aliens, but white colonialism. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to this book. There are layers that need to be unpeeled, and I recommend everyone reads it. I think it was Samuel R. Delaney who said after reading this book that it's a book that he's going to, when you finish it, you're going to think about it for days. I'm going to be thinking about this book for years, I have a feeling. So exciting stuff. Now I'm continuing, of course, with The Way of Edan, and that's a longer read. I still have like 5 hours to go, I think, on the audiobook. So still a little bit of time. I didn't have much time to catch up on that, and I was really wanted to finish Dawn first. So, but my update on the audiobook, things have stalled for me a little bit. There are a couple of characters that were introduced kind of at midpoint that I'm not in love with. I'm finding them and the direction in which the story started when they were introduced to the reading experience to be not my favorite. There's a lot of exposition. I already talked about the details, which to me are a bit overdone. There's just, for me personally, just too much world building as far as details. Now, when we're introduced to these two characters, now they are just dumping stories on us about the lore from the past, what happened, like history of this world. I was just starting to care about the world, what's going on now in this world, but now I'm kind of like ripped out of that and listening to history of this world in great detail, a world that's not real. I don't know, a little bit too much. I love it in historical fiction when I'm learning about historical places, events from the past. That's fine. In this case, however, there's just a little bit too much. I know it's not unusual in fantasy. I think that's what sometimes keeps me from reading the older fantasy, like all of that detail. And it's, some of it is interesting, and I love to refer back to the map and look at the places. But still, I like the story, the main story, but things have slowed down a little bit for me. I'm gonna wait and see how I enjoy the latter part, the ending, and I think that's going to inform my overall feeling about The Way of Edan, if I'm going to be really positive on it or maybe slightly negative. We'll see. Tough to say at this point because there's so many good things, so much potential. But some of these things that are maybe inherent to fantasy, I don't know. I haven't read enough about it. Are just like slowing the reading experience down for me. I'm just not enjoying all those details about wars from the past. So anyway, we'll see what's gonna happen. I'm still enjoying the audio experience quite a bit, even if it has slowed down, and I'm really invested in this story and I'm curious about what's gonna happen. A little bit frustrated, I would say, with our main protagonist, I suppose, as it seems like, from situation to situation, he's kind of like blown by the wind. But he's a young man. There's some growth potential for sure for him. Overall, still a good read. But again, the couple of items that I've already mentioned are slowing things down for me. And now I have big announcement. Ian and Banks, Use of Weapons. I'm doing a buddy read with Whitney and Sam. And we're starting it today. So I just picked up this book off the shelf and I'm going to start to read it. I already looked at the first sentence. Just listen to the first sentence, because it's pretty cool. First sentence or first paragraph. First sentence is, tell me, what is happiness? Happiness? Happiness is to wake up on a bright spring morning after an exhausting first night spent with a beautiful, passionate, murderous. Shit, is that all? I like that first sentence. Tell me what is happiness, or the first short paragraph. So I'm sure this is going to be an amazing reading experience. I'm excited to be reading with a couple of fellow booktubers. Yeah. So, I mean, this isn't really part of this vlog, but it's what I'm doing. So I'm letting you know about it. It's what's happening. The Way of Edan, I still probably have a couple of days before I finish it. And I will check in at the end of that listening audio experience and let you know my final thoughts on The Way of Edan and maybe a little bit about use of weapons, which is book 3 in the culture, E&M Banks. I love the first 2 books in the culture, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this one too. But Octavia E. Butler's Dawn, 5-star. Easy. I'm back at the airport. This is my life, traveling a lot. So I'm back at the airport, flying back to Colorado. Hopefully it's not too loud for me to record this video. So in any case, I finished The Way of Edan. And it's both epic, the story is, and frustrating a little bit for me. I just found that this type of fantasy I don't think is for me. Just doesn't, there's something about it that doesn't work for me, but I think it's gonna work for a lot of people who read different types of fantasy. And when you're in the mood for classic, kind of bombastic, everything is grand, lots of speeches, everybody makes pronouncements, people are really good, really bad. It feels like a classic fantasy, both with all the good stuff that comes with it and maybe some drawbacks that also come along with that. But Phillip Chase, his language in this book is really good. The prose is very strong, and it feels like a great first entry into a fantastic world. It's just so impressive how much work Phillip put into building this world, figuring it out, building out the history of it, the people, the relationships, the politics. Really fantastic. If you enjoy this type of big world, big scope, where you could dig in and, there are different languages, different accents. It's really strong, well written. It just, I found it that while I enjoyed reading it because it's different than what I typically read or have been reading lately, the more I read, the little bit less engaged with the story I felt, because of some of the things that just did not work for me, but probably would work for many fantasy readers. It's a good story. The ending also is good. The battle scene, which takes quite a bit of time towards the end, was fantastic. I really love the battle, the ending. It's satisfying. I'm gonna see how I want to progress with this story. I am curious to know what's gonna happen, but I have to think about when I'm gonna continue on. And I highly recommend considering listening to this story, because it's very well done, very beautifully read by Alan. I'm just impressed how many separate voices he was able to come up with, and consistency of the sound of those voices really brought to life the characters, I thought, in a major way. This was really well done, very professional level for sure. The sound quality, it really made the listening experience very engaging. So yeah, I love that quite a bit. The reading experience, the audio experience was fantastic. So yeah, I'm very happy that I read it. I'm happy that I gave it a chance. I think it's again a story that many people will love. It's a story that will endure, and I could see people picking it up in the future. And I wonder if Phillip is going to write more. Maybe I'll get a chance to ask Phillip about that. And what would he change about this story? Obviously, when you're writing a story as epic as this and building this world, it takes so many years of living in that universe. I wonder how it is when you look back at your finished work, with pride, of course, but also with a lens, through a different lens now, and I wonder if his next book would be similar to this, or if there would be a different tone to it. The world that he created with the religious implications, that was really interesting to me. The religious side, with priests who really believe in what they're doing, and then priests who are using religion kind of as a way to rise up and gain more power. So yeah, fascinating stuff. There's a lot in the Way of Edan to look at, a lot to think about. I do recommend it if you're a fantasy reader to give it a shot and see for yourself whether you're gonna like it or not. Like a 3.5 star read for me, but I do think someone who reads more fantasy and is better versed in fantasy may have a higher estimation of it and even more fun than I did. But I enjoyed it. I'm glad I listened to it on audio. So thank you, Phillip. Congratulations. It is really an impressive work. And also to Alan, congrats on the audio experience, because it's good. It's really good. One day after my last reading session, snow came down and Colorado became even more beautiful. Thank you for watching. I think I'm gonna end it here. Let me know if you like this vlog style video, if it makes any sense to do it, because it does take a lot of work actually to try to put it together with so many different pieces, clips. The editing part takes a long time, and I'm not sure if it's really something that people enjoy seeing. I like the process, and I really kind of do these videos as much for myself as I do for others. It wouldn't work for me otherwise if I was just thinking about what someone else may want out of me. I have to do what feels right to me, but I'm just curious. So let me know, leave a comment down below if you can, and let me know if you enjoy this vlog and the previous one I did, if you've seen it. I'm really proud of that one. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.